Hey, I'm Trish Stratus, and you're watching DieHard Wrestling. Stratisfaction is guaranteed.
We're here with Trish Stratus today, down with Sports Fans Promotions, DieHard Wrestling. Trish, I know you're in a rush. I just want to catch you for a couple of quick questions.
Sorry about all this bass right now.
I know. I feel like I got like a trombone in my ass. It's just too much right now. But recently, they just retired the World Wrestling Entertainment Women's title, something that you held for 7 times. How do you feel about that?
It's funny because a lot of people approach me with that question and with a negative tone to it, like, can you believe they did that? But I actually think it's, I like to be not the pessimist, but be the optimist. I like to see it as the belt, some great things happened with that belt, and I feel like sometimes you don't get no better than that. So kind of like, it's good. It's done what it's done. Let's put that history away. And now it's definitely a different time in wrestling, definitely a different time with the Divas division. And with the Divas title, I think now you have a new group of girls, build that title, build that division, and offer something that's a little different, because the product itself is a little different as well.
How do you feel about the current state of women's wrestling? I mean, is it something that disappoints you, or is it something that you'd be proud to be a part of again?
I think it's lacking in a couple areas. I think that there's not enough character development, and obviously I think for me, one of my successes in my career was that I had that backing. I had developed my career in my storylines, my character, and is it the fault of the superstar or the company? It's it's questionable and it goes back and forth, but it's both. I mean, it's kind of like you have to put your own character out there as well. So I think if, let's just say in a perfect world, if the current stable had like storylines and development, then yeah, you think it's some great things, because you have a lot of girls who wrestle. And I think what would be key to me is if I was to go in there and decide who's working who and what's going on, I would definitely put it like there's a lot of really experienced veteran wrestlers in there, and put them with the new up-and-comers, because you can't put 2 new girls and expect them to have a 5-star match, you know what I mean? So, take someone like Natty, who's got a solid foundation and technical wrestler, and then put a Maurice in there with the character development, and put it together, and you've got some good guidance, and that's what's missing, I think.
Are you familiar with the TNA product, and if so, how would you compare that with the WWE Divas?
Very different. I think what they're doing is just what I talked about. TNA has definitely got definite defined, distinguished characters, and they've done a really good job of doing that. And they've also, of course, they focus on their wrestling, and they focus. It's looked at as a section of the show that's the same as a regular show. Yeah.
I think one of the questions I guess everybody wants to know right now is, there have been so many divas that graced the cover versus Playboy. Why not Trish Stratus?
Not interested at all. It's just not my style. Like, sitting there nude and posing for magazines, just not my style. I actually like, and I've always said this, I mean, you could probably go quote me 100 times, but at the end of the day, I want people to be like, oh, that's Trish Stratus, the best women's wrestler ever, rather than, oh, that's Trish, that's the one on the Playboy cover. You know what I mean? It's just not important. It has nothing to do with wrestling to me. I was in wrestling to be a women's wrestler and to be the best wrestler and, champion, check and check. And yeah, Playboy has nothing to do. It's just not my thing.
Trish, there's a million other questions, but I guess we're going to have to set that up for another time. I appreciate the time you spent with us today. Thank you very much, and best of luck. Again, it's TrishStratus.com?
It is, TrishStratus.com. If you have any questions, we'll talk.
Fantastic.
We'll talk.
Thank you.